saw them. I was like, man, I got to find somewhere else.
Well, I think they're going now.
What?
I think they're going now.
Yeah.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah, you too, man.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's me, Truth Teacher, learning how to work this technology. So I'm just out for a little walk here in Jersey City, and I thought I'd just go live, just figure out how to do this. So, was a really, really interesting weekend last week. I got a chance to hang out with Radical and Christina. She was up here visiting the city. So we got a chance to show her the other side of New York. Of course, she was up in Washington Heights hanging out up there. And so I wanted to take her to Central Park because they have like free salsa dancing out there by the fountain every Saturday. And across from there, like up the stairs on the other side, they have house music. And at night, it's like an outdoor club. They got like old school house music going on. It's a real nice vibe. They got like a little setup on the side. They got food, they got drinks and everything, so I thought that would have been, like a real chill day. We could do a little salsa and merengue over by the fountain and then go over and do some, house dancing and have some food and drinks and stuff. But the weather wasn't on our side. We had like really bad weather. The weather really sucked, man. That's the thing about New York, New Jersey area. The weather is so unpredictable. It can be like 90 degrees one day and then next day it's like 60 degrees. So it was like really cloudy and rainy. So the vibe of the city, it wasn't what it would have been if it was like a nice sunny day like today. Plus, we got started a little late because Tina got caught in traffic and all of that stuff trying to get over to us. But we had a good time. Like we walked, oh my God, we met up with Blood Moon and we decided we were going to go down to Times Square. It's not the kind of place that we go, hey, Tina, what's up, sweetie? We were just talking about our little weekend meetup last week. It's almost our anniversary. So like Times Square, it's not the kind of place that New Yorkers ordinarily go to. But it's a big attraction. It's a famous worldwide attraction. So when we got friends from out of town, we'll go over there and show them around, so they could see. Yeah, Tina, you gotta come back when you gotta come back again because you gotta be in the city when it's a nice sunny day. It's like even that day there were the break dancers out there, but they weren't breakdancing because the weather was crappy, it was raining. And that's the great thing about New York is like there's something always popping, unexpected everywhere you go, like when you go to those open areas in the city, there's like street performers. The breakdancers are really cool, man. I mean, like, they be doing their thing. Even on the subway, that's the thing about New York. It's like something is ready to jump off in a good or bad way all the time. Hey, who's this? Hey, Jay, what's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, I'm just going live because you know what? I really don't show my channel a lot of love because it's a lot of work, man. If you got a channel, It's a whole lot of work making content. I mean, editing and all of that stuff, man. It takes a lot, and I ain't got time like that. Who's that? Hey, now, son, what's up? I'm being good. Listen, I'm on my morning work. I'm on my morning walk, okay? So I'm not wasting time. Don't give me a hard time. But, even on the subway, like I was saying, you can be on the subway and you can get like a whole floor show. Because, I mean, like the break dances in the street is one thing, but the break dances on the subway, yo, you be getting a break dance performance, a pole dance performance, acrobatics. You be getting like a whole floor show on the train, man. I mean, listen, man. We've got so much talent in New York. I mean, the kind of things that these people think of, it's like they be on that subway train and the kind of acrobatics that they can do on a crowded subway train and not hit anybody. It's just absolutely amazing, But of course, New Yorkers, we're just jaded as fuck because we see that shit every day. We're like, okay, yeah, whatever, but where else in the world, you tell me where else in the world you're gonna go and you're gonna get like an acrobatic show on the subway when you're on your way to work or coming home in the evening. Ooh, she was gorgeous. So that's the kind of vibe I wanted like to share with Tina. But like I said, the weather wasn't on our side. So I gotta show you one of my favorite things to do around the city. I love picking fruits. There's it's not like being in Jamaica. One of the things I miss about Jamaica is you had so many fruit trees just growing wild all over the place. America, you don't really get that as much, but if you know where to look, you can find fruits, and this is one of my favorite trees. Hold up. How do I flip my screen? Oh, here, I think this is it. Yeah, okay, so dudes, look. Can you see this? These are what you call June berries. And they look like blueberries, but to me they're a lot tastier. And these are edible. Ooh, these are nice and sweet. So believe it or not, people, they actually are edible fruits in the city. No, these aren't poisonous. Later on in the year, I'll show you some berries that definitely are poisonous. You gotta know what you're eating, but these are really good. Oh man, they're ripe. You know what? I'm gonna come back with a plastic baggie. I'm gonna pick a whole bunch of these, throw them in my smoothies. Yo, let me show you. Look at that. Look at this tree, man. It's like people walk by this, they don't even know. They don't even know that listen, the rain washed them, okay? I'm an island boy. This is what I used to do growing up in Jamaica, man. Especially now, it's mango season. Oh my God. Mango season? Well, it's not just Jamaica, it's everywhere in the Caribbean. Listen, there is nothing like the scent that you get from a tree full of ripe mangoes. See, look at this. June berries. Can you see them? They also call them Saskatoons. And they have another name too, but I can't remember the other name. But they call them June berries because they come out in June. And right now is the perfect time. The ones on this side are much sweeter though. These are delicious. Yo, I'm gonna show you another tree. I'm gonna show you another tree that has edible berries. And it's something that I'm sure a lot of you have seen, but you just never knew that it was edible. So, that's my breakfast. I haven't had breakfast yet. But this is what I do. This is my exercise. I want to go to the gym today. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, because I had to have a tooth pulled, and they put me on antibiotics. And you know what happens to your stomach when they put you on antibiotics? That should be fucking up your system. So I don't know if I'm ready for the gym yet. But at the very least, I can have a walk, and I can kill two birds with one stone. I can make content, Who the fuck is this calling me? Fuck out of here. I should have put this on airplane mode. Hold up. Let me put this shit on airplane mode. Here we go. Oh, there I go. All right, that fucked up when I put it on airplane mode. Okay. I'll just decline those spam calls when they come in. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was talking about the June berries. The seeds have a really interesting flavor. It's kind of like, I don't know, kind of tastes like a cinnamon or vanilla kind of flavor. I don't know. You just have to try it whenever you see that tree. But yeah, they're delicious. I'm gonna come back with a baggie and just pick a whole bunch of them, because there's 3 big trees over there, and all that fruit is just going to waste. What a shame. But then again, there's more for me, right? So yeah, I'm enjoying the summer, and even though my stomach is doing flip-flops right now, I can at least go take a walk and get some exercise in, So I was watching the live with Tina on a certain person's channel. No drama today. But I just thought it was interesting that, this person said they lost respect for me and Radical because we didn't meet up with them. But on the real though, this is a person that told me, first of all, here's my thing. If I extend the hand of friendship to you and you slap it, aren't you telling me something like you don't want my friendship? That's what you're telling me. And when we were on several streams, that would have been the time to squash whatever misunderstanding there was. But, this is a person that called me out of my name, called me a pedophile, you called me a homosexual, call me weird. And then you went even so far as to say, you don't give a fuck about me. You don't give a fuck if I die. So why would I want to socialize with you? You know, it just is what it is. Yo, I just found this. Check this out. Check this out. Look. Wild grapes. Yo, I hope it stays here. I'm gonna be definitely coming back over here picking some wild grapes, yo. Look at that. Can you see? Look at that. A lot of interesting things you find in Jersey City. I hope these are grapes. Well, you know what? I'll wait for them to mature and then I'll know if it really is grapes. But they do look like grapes. I mean, I'm looking at the leaf. Definitely does look like grapes. So I'll come back and check these out. Oh. Here's another tree. Here's another tree. So now these berries, and these are berries that you find growing all over the place. I'm sure you find them all over the country too. But these are called mulberries. Can you see this? Look at that. You've seen these all over the place. They fall and, you know, they're on the floor and they leave these big, nasty, purple-looking stains all over the ground. But these berries are edible. This is delicious. These are really sweet. If you get the right tree that's got the right kind of soil, you get like, it's kind of sweet and tart. Look at that. That's what it looks like. These are mulberries. Delicious. And look, people just walk by this all the time. They don't even know that these things are edible. Delicious. I usually spit out the seeds. It's a texture thing. I don't like it. Could be contaminated. Well, shit, the food that you get in the supermarket is contaminated. What you mean? Listen, if some shit ever goes down and like the food supply is out, I will be eating. I'm telling you, listen. I'm gonna be trapping pigeons. I'm gonna be doing all kinds of shit. I swear to God. I will be alive. I'll be good. But now, I'm gonna go steal some cherries. There's a cherry tree that I found that actually grows cherries. Now, most cherry trees that you find are sterile for some reason. You can tell a cherry tree by two things. You can tell it by the shape of the leaf, and you can tell it by the bark. Cherry trees, the bark has a shiny texture to it, and the leaf has a particular shape. But you know, you see cherry trees all the time because in springtime they give off these big blossoms. So you know them by the blossom. The only thing is, for some reason, most of the cherry trees that you find, they don't give any fruit. But I did find one tree that does have fruit. And I went around with a with a plastic baggie to go pick some, right? But it's actually growing in somebody's front yard. So I went over there Sunday, but you know, Sunday everybody's sitting out there. So I like, yo, everybody on the block is sitting out on their front porch, so I don't want to get caught like stealing these cherries. You know? The correct thing to do is to wait for the weekday when everybody's at work, and then you go and you steal their cherries. Because you have no witnesses. So that's the way you do it, folks. So we're gonna go over here right now. We're gonna steal some cherries. So come steal cherries with me. Listen, man. They can't eat all those cherries by themselves. You know what I mean? So I'm doing God's work. You know, I'm eating those cherries and I'm spreading the seeds around. You know? Show the properties in Jersey City. You know, that's a good suggestion. Make spirituality, herbs, etc. You know, I don't know a lot of spiritual herbs. Where's my contents? I could do it, but you know, it's nothing growing wild. But you know, there is a lot of stuff that does grow wild that you can eat, that has medicinal properties. The only thing though I will say when it comes to like herbs, I'm a little bit more skittish with that because you don't know what chemicals might have been sprayed on the ground. So there I'd be a little bit more concerned, you know, but if it's growing off of a tree, that's different. Because trees usually don't get sprayed with insecticides, you know, not growing wild. So, where are we? We're almost there. See, is anybody out front? No, nobody's out front. Let's go steal some cherries. Okay. Jersey City, you know, like I like that idea of like just going around to different areas of Jersey City because it really is an interesting little spot. It has very interesting architecture, you know? A lot of interesting little houses and stuff. Oh, guys, check it out. Oh, look what we got here. Damn, look at that. Can you guys see? Now, here's how you tell a cherry tree. You see the leaf? Look at the shape of the leaf. And if you look at the bark, oh, you know something? I just noticed the bark of this tree is different than the trees that I've seen that don't give any fruit. Hey, Morena, what's up, sweetie? Well, if they arrest me, I'll just like do a live stream from jail. What can I tell you? Oh, but yo, check it. Let's see. Ooh, cherries. Very tart. Oh, that's construction. I thought somebody was coming out to kick my ass. Ooh, these are juicy as hell. Yo, I definitely got to come back out here with a bag, yo. Look at this. These big clusters of cherries. But look at what I was saying about the bark. Can you see? The bark, it's got a kind of shiny texture to it, but this one, the bark is gray. The cherry trees that I usually see, the bark is like a maroon color, you know, and I don't know, maybe that's the difference between the cherry trees that actually bear fruit and the ones that don't. You know, but this is the only cherry tree that I've seen. Well, actually, no, there's another one that I used to see, but for some reason they chopped it down, which is fucking horrible. I'm gonna save the seeds. My God, these are good. This is the thing that I miss about Jamaica, man. In Jamaica, everywhere you work, everywhere you walk, there's some kind of tree that, you know, has some kind of fruits. You have mangoes, tamarinds or tamarindo, almonds, coconuts, like just all different kinds of fruits just growing wild, man. But the trees we love the most were the mango trees, and especially if it was growing in somebody's yard, because everybody knows mangoes are sweeter when you steal it from somebody else's tree. Listen, it's been scientifically proven, it's a fact. The sweetest mangoes come off of somebody else's tree in somebody else's yard. Listen, man, it was back in the day. We didn't have cable, man. You know, we had to entertain ourselves some way, you know? So stealing mangoes and not getting caught, that was fun times, man. And, you know, we had a cherry tree in my backyard. We had a cherry tree that had the sweetest cherries ever. And the last time my brother went down there, he took a picture of the backyard and the cherry tree was gone. Oh my God, I was fucking heartbroken. I think it probably got blown down in one of the hurricanes. Oh look, here's another mulberry tree, you see? Let me show you the ground. Hey, how you doing? You see, you got all these, very easy to tell, mulberries, you know? And if you live in New York, you've seen these trees all over, man. They make a mess of your sidewalk. But if you get the right tree, look at the shape of the leaf. You get the right tree, man, it's like, it's really, really delicious. I think the tastiest ones is when it's kind of like reddish purplish. It's not completely, you know, that dark purple. Has a very sweet but tart taste. But these cherries are delicious. Now, as far as the YouTube drama thing is concerned, listen. I already did the videos that I needed to do, said what I had to say. I really have no intention of making my channel about, drama and messiness and all of this. Oh, let me show you this flower. I think that this flower has some kind of medicinal properties. I think this is echinacea. It's supposed to be good for your immune system. I have to check that out though. Not 100% sure, but these flowers were like actually planted by somebody, so I wouldn't pick those. But as I was saying,
You think you need one?
I didn't start my channel to be getting involved in messy drama at all, right? I have several. Sorry, these cherries are so delicious. I have several objectives. Not just with my channel, but just being on YouTube in general. Number one is to share information. I guess you could say my real focus on YouTube is the opposite of drama. It's to eradicate drama, because I see most of these arguments that are happening comes down to one thing in particular, and that is misunderstanding. And particularly when you're talking about different cultural groups. That's how my channel actually got started. Because, see, here's another cherry tree. See? But look at the bark, it's a different color. You see this one? No cherries. But as I was saying, I got started on YouTube because I was seeing all of these videos about ancient Egypt and the whole controversy of what the race of the ancient Egyptians were, and if the Egyptians today are really the descendants of the ancient people. And there was African Americans going at it with Egyptians, with white people. It was just a whole clusterfuck. And as you all know, Egypt is the one place in the world that I've visited the most, for reasons that you all now understand. But actually, I was killing two birds with one stone, because for most of the time while I was dancing, I was, I was also school teaching. So I would do, dance research, but I would also do cultural, historical information to bring back to the classroom and show my kids, Guys, look at this. This is pumpkin. Now, I don't see any pumpkins growing, but you can tell the pumpkin from the leaf. It's a vine. A lot of times it has this flower. If this isn't pumpkin, it's something in the pumpkin family. Look. You see something forming there on the bottom of the flower? It's going to be something. Lily, stop talking. Stop lying about me. I'm not a drama magnet. I just find it. But anyway, I started my channel because I saw there were all these different opinions. And each group had valid points. So I wanted to put my 2 cents in there to facilitate understanding about the whole issue. So that's the thing, is like, I started off with that. And then I started seeing a lot of comments showing just a lot of bias and ignorance about Africans, black people, African history. And so I would give information about that, But I was actually more active engaging people in conversation, right? Most people on YouTube videos they just drop, like a couple sentences of comments. Me, on the other hand, I'd actually engage people in conversation. Oh, let me read these comments. You should have how to belly dance when I get back up. Yo, okay, so Tina, when you come back up, we're gonna do a belly dance tutorial. You're gonna be my student. I'll definitely do that. But as I was saying, like what I would do under videos is actually try to engage people in conversation. Not that I was, like debating anybody, but I was giving them information that they weren't aware of and giving them a different way of looking at a situation that they may not have considered before, right? Actually, that's how me and Kim became friends. Now, not talking about how that eventually worked out in the long run, but it is what it is. But that's what I do. I like going around to people. I like leaving comments, giving compliments, encouragement, uplifting people. That's what I love to do. And that's how me and Tina became friends, because when I see somebody that's got a special quality, I recognize it. And what I recognize from Tina's video, first of all, she's a lady. Second of all, she's educated, articulate. She has a wonderful personality. She's very warm, inviting, intelligent. And I could tell that she had all the qualities to be a brand ambassador for the Dominican community, because unfortunately, there hasn't been anyone out there really combating the negative press that Dominicans get. And I understand that there's cultural differences, but unfortunately, in this world in general, the people that get the most attention are usually the most ignorant people, the people who are the most inflammatory, the most negative. And we've had people like Mr. Chicken Farmer down in the Dominican Republic who had to flee for his life, not mentioning any names, and a certain young man who I've had interesting interactions with, not mentioning any names, and people hear the kind of things that they have to say, and they think automatically, oh, well, that's the way all Dominicans are. When in fact, those people and their opinions do not represent the Dominican community or all Dominicans. But you know, in Jamaica, we have a saying, empty barrels make the most noise. And so the empty barrels have been making a lot of noise for, well, like what, 40 years now? Almost 40 years. The empty barrels have been making a lot of noise, and the rational voices have not been heard. So when I saw Tina, I was like, you know, at that time she was doing, you know, like her makeup thing. And I actually ran into her twice. The first time, she was doing like makeup from different time periods. I think she started in the 1920s, and then she finished with the 1960s. So I was like, and I came across that video because I was looking at like these vintage videos, right? There's this one lady that used to live in my neighborhood, and her fashion was from the 1940s, like the early 1940s and the late 30s. She had everything perfect. I don't know where she found the clothes, but she had the clothes, she had the makeup, she had the hair, she had even the shoes. I don't know where the hell this woman went and found 1940s shoes. But apparently this is a thing. There's people who they have a time period that they just really love, and they dress like they're from that time period. So I was watching videos of that on YouTube, and I saw Tina's video on 1960s makeup. Now, I have a very good memory from when I was a kid of what, like, you know, the fashion and the makeup and the hair was like in the 60s, right? I remember that as a baby. I remember it. So I said, let me see how, you know, how close. And yo, she was spot on, man. She was spot on. The 1920s was close, not quite there, but she was close. But she really nailed it with the 1960s thing. And then she had her DNA video, right? So, of course, you know, under Dominican videos, you get all the trolley trolls. And once again, a lot of people with a lot of misunderstandings. So I was there, you know, interacting with people, and I would engage people in conversation. And Tina really appreciated, you know, what I had to offer, you know. And Sophia also, you know, I would engage people. I would come in and I would get a conversation started, you know, and that's really what I'm all about. I'm trying to get people to step away from the animosity, because at the end of the day, the animosity is really based on misunderstanding. Oh, let me read these comments. Regarding African, Flor de Oro, yeah. All of those things I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a lot more information about different things, but you know, it's difficult because for the past 5 years I went back to school because I'm pursuing another career. I'm still dancing, but the problem with being a dancer or any other kind of artist is that it's not a stable income. You know, it's like your income will fluctuate wildly. It's feast or famine. And I'm like, you know, I'm too goddamn old to be riding these fucking waves. So, and then I realized also, you know, if I get injured or if I get sick, I don't make any money. It's like, in order for me to make money, I have to dance. You know, I have to be able to dance, whether I'm performing or teaching. And most of my income actually comes from teaching. But, you know, I had a few health issues, you know, and I couldn't even teach. And that's when I realized, oh, okay, you know what? I need something stable, more traditional, and I can still dance, but I can be financially secure. And of course, you know, I wanted to be able to take care of my mom because she was getting older. I got a younger sister with Down syndrome. I wanted to be able to help take care of them. So I went back to school in 2015, and that requires a lot of work. So I don't have the time to sit down and edit videos like that. But I'm almost done with the process. And I do intend to do more videos. That was a very long-winded way of saying, yeah, I definitely do intend on doing more videos looking at different aspects of African history, spirituality, and also things that people of African descent are doing now, because you see a lot of people don't realize, oh, you know what, let me show you guys where I'm walking. I'm doing a walk and talk. So you all been looking at my mug all this time, and I know it's beautiful, but I think these houses are much more interesting than my mug. You know, there's a lot that people of the African diaspora, African Americans, are actually doing today that doesn't get talked about, that doesn't get recognized. There's things that they're doing. I mean, we have scientists, doctors, all kinds of fields of technology, medicine, invention, so much that is going on. And nobody knows about it. You know, we just have this very one-dimensional idea of what, particularly the African American community, what it's all about, what they're all about. And while I don't deny that there's, you know, dysfunction in the African American community, I try to be more realistic about it, because at the end of the day, what community doesn't have a dysfunctional element? I grew up in the Bronx on the Grand Concourse, and there were dysfunctional African Americans there, but there were also Puerto Ricans who were just as dysfunctional. And then in the 80s, the mid 80s, early to mid 80s, but it really started picking up in the mid 80s. The Dominicans started coming up, and a lot of them were very decent people, but a lot fuck, let me tell you, a lot of them were ratchet as fuck. They were just as ratchet as the ghetto African Americans and the ghetto Puerto Ricans, and they didn't get that way from hanging out with African Americans. They came straight from the island with their ghetto ways, because they came from the ghetto in Dominican Republic, and they brought that ghetto mindset with them here. At the same time, you had another wave of migration of Jamaicans coming up, and these were the people that were a very different group than my parents' generation, who were like, you know, educated middle class people. These were the ghetto ass Jamaicans, and we were all like, what the fuck? Oh, yo, check out this house. Like, how the fuck did these people get visas? Because back in the day, if you was a ragamuffin, you wasn't getting a visa to the United States. If you had any kind of record, or you had any kind of like fighting or anything like that, you wouldn't be getting a visa. to come to the United States. So then we saw all of these ragamuffins coming up here, and we were like, what the fuck? Where did these people come from? So I say all of that to say every community has its dysfunctional elements. So to take one group of people and you just hyper focus on their dysfunction while you ignore the dysfunction of everybody else, it's very disingenuous. You know, because people will look at certain communities, for example, and call them model minorities, the Asians. But yo, depending on where you are in the country, you know, you will find some Asians that are fucking ratchet as fuck, right? Maybe you don't see it so much. Well, you know where you do see it? In New York, you have to go down to like Chinatown, and then you'll see it. But for the most part, you don't see it here. Or if you go out to the West Coast, you will see it, you know? With East Indians here, I think they're kind of hand-picked. But if you go to England, Indians and Pakistanis, you want to see the ghetto asses in their community, go to England. You're gonna see a whole different side. Just as ghetto as fucking ghetto as can be. Oh, abandoned house. Oh, I think they're renovating this house. Check it out. See, I love buildings like these. These are like stone. You know, look. Oh man, listen, I would love to be able to buy a property like this. Look, they got like a backyard area. They got land out here. This would be perfect. I would love to have a property like this. You could fix this up. I mean, you got this garden space back here. They got lilies growing. But, you know, can you imagine you take this and you landscape it? This would be really nice. I guess that was some kind of like a shed that they had back there. And yeah, they're like in the process of renovating this. So Jersey City actually is becoming, it's in the process of being gentrified. You know, there's a lot of new buildings that are going up all over the place. Anywhere you see like an empty lot, sooner or later, they start digging it up. Oh, let me show you guys another interesting plant. You see this? This is dandelion. Now, you see this growing all over the place, and this is a weed. A lot of people try to get rid of it, but dandelion actually is very nutritious. It's got a lot of good medicinal properties. It's good for your blood. You know, but I think you have to pick it, you know, for the right flavor, optimal flavor. You got to pick it at the right time. There's something else I see growing here, but they're almost gone. I think these are thistles. And I know they have medicinal properties also. I just don't remember what the medicinal properties are. But you know something? I should take a course. They do have courses where you can learn about these. Hold on a second. I got to tie my pants. Give me a second, guys. My pants are falling down. Oh, these people are growing grapes in their backyard. Look, you can see on the vine, on the fence back there. Those are grapes. Now, those I know definitely are edible. You can tell by the shape of the leaf. But if you can look, can I zoom in? Yeah, look at that. You can see like the clusters of grapes already growing. You can tell by the shape of the leaf, you know? You have the domesticated grapes, and then you have like the wild ones. So I'll see. But these are really nice houses. I you would imagine that this house was probably built in like the I want to say, looking from the shape of it, it looks like this house was probably built, I want to say like the 1900s. Definitely the 1900s. But what I like about it, it's stone. You know, it's brick. And then you have another one over here. These are, I think, a little bit older, but I think they call these Victorians. I don't know why they call them Victorian, because it's not from the Victorian era. It's actually late late 1800s, early 1900s. You can tell by the decoration on the top of the roof there and the woodworking. Lily, I'm out for my exercise walk right now. I got the whole day to do what I gotta do, so stop giving me a hard time. Lily's my right hand man. Oh, look, we got another tree here. More June berries. See, look at the leaf. You can tell by the leaf. And the berries, they look like blueberries. Let me see, how do these taste? Hmm. Yeah, these are kind of funny tasting. You know, when it comes to berries and things like this, the environment makes a difference. Sometimes, if a tree is too close to an area where it gets heavy traffic, it kind of gives them like a very metallic, like nasty taste to them, you know, because it sucks up like all that pollution from, you know, the carbon monoxide from the cars. Yeah, that wasn't a tasty tree. Blah. But what was I talking about? I lost my train of thought. Oh, I was talking about my channel. Yeah. You know, my whole thing about my channel is I want it to be a place of creating cultural understanding and just information, because unfortunately when it comes to, oh look, check it out, can you guys see that flying in the distance there? It's a red-tailed hawk. Can you see it? Yeah, we have a lot of hawks over here too. I love hawks. Red-tailed hawks. There you go. There you go. They're beautiful. Well, yeah, people are nasty, but the thing is, if it's a tree and it's high up, you know, you're not gonna get people like spitting on trees and shit, you know? Now, if it's something low, like herbs, yeah, that you definitely have to be more aware of, because you know you got people walking their dogs and the dogs are peeing all over everything. So, oh wow, look at this hawk. Just flew right overhead. Yeah, you know, like things that grow low to the ground. I think you have to be more careful with those things, because those are the things that are more likely to be subject to pesticides and things like that. Look, here goes another one of these interesting houses. Look at that brickwork. I would love to have a house like this. I mean, I'm torn when it comes to having property between having a house or a condo. Like a condo townhouse, I would love because I don't have to do any work. I don't want to be like mowing lawns or raking leaves or none of that bullshit. But yeah, a lot of these old buildings that they're getting renovated. Jersey City went through its period, its rough period. Oh, look, here's a small apartment building. They're renovating. There's a lot of building going on in Jersey City. And we got Jersey City Police here. Yo, let me tell you something.
Somebody's dying.
I
And what
love
if they
Jersey
be like,
City
oh my
Police.
god, like we were trying to help her. No, fuck out of here.
You
You're
know,
not doing that shit to me. I'm not.
Jersey City Police are the fucking best, man. Let me tell you something. They are. I love Jersey City Police. You know why? They treat everybody with respect. When you see a Jersey City Police, man, they're like a part of the community. They talk to you. Good morning, good evening, how you doing? What's up? They're not like NYPD that got a fucking chip on their shoulder and just looking at you ready to jump. I love Jersey City Police, man. New York City, that's a whole different ball game, man. Nah, I don't fuck with them at all. But we're coming to this area of Jersey City. I think this is what they call the Heights. And this area, this is far from me, yo. This is really far from where I live. But I love coming up here because they got, this little field here. There's an old reservoir that's behind this field. But, they got like a little track and field here. This is Central Ave. This is a little, I guess you could say it's a little Latino enclave. There's a lot of little Latino businesses, mostly like Central American, a lot of Colombians and people from there. There's a lot of Dominicans here in Jersey City, but I wouldn't say that this is a very heavy Dominican area. Most of the businesses that I see over here are like Colombian, Ecuadorian, other places. Not from the Caribbean so much. But they got baseball field. They got a little indoor pool over there in the winter. They got ice skating. Oh, Kamunapah, the chicken spot on Kamunapah. I'm far away from Kamunapah right now, man. That's a whole walk all the way in the other direction. But they got my little Trinidadian spot over there. Damn, you know what? I should have walked over there. I could have got myself a roti. Yeah, I should have went in that direction. Damn. So I'll just go a little bit more here. There used to be a roti spot. It was a Trinidadian spot that was over here. And I used to come over here to get my roti. And they went out of business. Yo, I was fucking heartbroken, man. Heartbroken because the only other West Indian spot in Jersey City is down by where I started out at. And I think they're Guyanese, and no shade on Guyanese, but that spot, nah, they ain't got it like that. They don't know how to throw down like that, man. Like their curry, they ain't got it like that. This is a Colombian spot. Noches de Colombia. I never ate there. I should check it out one day. And there's a place like about another block up there. They have pupusas, which I forget where pupusas come from, but they're delicious. And let me show you some hidden gems in Jersey City when it comes to architecture. So here's our park. This is Pershing Field. And that's the reservoir back there. And in the distance, you can see those two towers. Man, that's like, when they started building that shit up, you knew for a fact Jersey City was fucking gentrified, man. No fucking doubt about it. We got the Twin Towers in Jersey City now. They just hopped across the river. The Colombian. You know, I need to go check it out. Nicaragua is where pupusas are from. Oh, well then at least there's one good thing that comes out of Nicaragua. Caribbean-owned businesses in Jersey City. You know something? That's a good idea. I could definitely start with my favorite little Trinidadian spot. I have to look for some other. Well, I mean, Caribbean. We got the Trinidadians. We got Dominicans. We definitely got Dominicans. Puerto Rican, not so much. Definitely Dominican though. Trinidadian. There was a Jamaican spot. I think it went out of business because of COVID. But you know, I could check around and see what else is there. I think the Jamaican spot that is open, it's in the dangerous side of town. You know, but no, we good. I could go over there. Oh, guys, look. Here's another cherry tree. Look at the bark. You see? It's got that like maroonish color. Shiny. But it don't bear no cherries, man. No fruit. No fruit. Now, these houses over here, I think, are so interesting. This is what you find a lot in Jersey City. You know, you have a block like this, right? With these houses. But they have these little hidden gems tucked away in the back. You know, there's these hidden houses. So I'm just going to trespass really quick and show you. So you got the main house here, right? On the street. Look, this is a beautiful little house, man. Look at this. Right? You see, this is what I love about Jersey City, is that it's urban, but you can still find these little suburban touches. You know, I mean, look at this. Look at this lawn, yo. Beautiful. Look at that lawn. Now, this is a place I would raise kids here, because you know, you could just put them outside. They can run themselves ragged and shit. You don't have to worry about their safety. But then you come up the driveway and look what you got. You have a whole nother little house back here. Look at that. Oh, look, check. They got grapes. They're growing grapes over here too. Oh, look, you see that? That's a fig tree. Okay, let me see. Can I get close enough without anybody shooting me because they think I'm trespassing? But here's another tree that you will find growing wild. You can tell the shape. Look at the shape of the leaves. This is a fig tree. You know, so pretty soon, before the summer is over, you know, this thing will start giving off fruit. And, you know, I think you can see the little buds. Oh, look, you can see the bud growing there. That's a fig. So by the end of the summer, that should be ripe. But yeah, that's a fig tree. But look at this, you know, that's like so awesome. You know what I think they did? Okay, so you see these garages back here? I think it looks like what they did with this was probably a garage. Sorry. I got busted here. This was probably a garage. Hi. I'm just doing like showing my friends interesting architecture in Jersey City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why is there someone in my yard?
You know why? Because there's so many interesting little hidden gems when it comes to architecture in Jersey
this house
City.
is not that old.
Well, now, okay, I have an idea. Did this used to be like a garage and they
No.
built it up?
No,
They just built
it
a-
was built. It was built.
Yeah,
Ground
but I think it's just so interesting because you have this whole street and it just looks like a normal
This is
street,
the
and then
original house.
this is the original
The
house.
house, the backyard used to go all the way to the end.
All the way back. But it's so awesome that you have this hidden little gem back there, you know?
Yeah, I'm just.
How old is this house, by the way?
This house, I don't know, was probably built in the early 1900s.
That's what I figured.
It used to be a clubhouse.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Doctor's office. Lots
Wow.
of different things.
Wow. Well, thank you for. I'm sorry to startle you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, I got busted, y'all. But I mean, it's a beautiful little house. So yeah, I mean, looking at this house, this was, like she said, the early 1900s. And you can tell by the style of the architecture. Now up there at the top around the roof, that would have been all decorative like molding, like you see on this house here. You got that decorative framework in that house also. That's what would be under here. But I think what a lot of people did, when these decorative moldings started to decay, I guess they didn't have the money to fix it up, or they don't do that kind of work anymore, so they did this kind of thing, which is a shame. But it doesn't take away from the beauty of the house, though. It's really nice. And then we have these kind of houses. Yeah, let me show you on this house. You can see the kind of molding that I'm talking about. You see, when you see this kind of thing, you see the way the houses are? You have like these parts that come out and then it recesses and then it comes out and it recesses. This is definitely early 1900s. And you see that decorative work. That's, I believe it's copper with the molded copper. And then what some people will do with these, this part here, like the front porch, some places they'll enclose that and they'll make like another little room, Or if you have like a 2-family house, they'll also do that as well. But you can see, look at this decorative molding. Really, really beautiful. That's another one of my passions. I love architecture. I love modern architecture also. But there's just something about the old style. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at what they did just with paint. Because you have all these little embellishments and they just, picked it out, different colors with the paint to just make those little flowers pop, I mean, modern architecture is really, really interesting, but it doesn't have the same personality that the old stuff had, I really love that old architecture. And then we got a little mini mansion. This is another thing that you'll find in Jersey City. You find these little mini mansions, but to me, when you have a big building it's a shame when you have a big house like this and they hardly got any backyard, man. That's like, goddamn, that's sad. But the house itself, the structure is beautiful. And the other thing I love about Jersey City, it's quiet. It's quiet. It's not like when I was in the Bronx. Oh my God, all those people. Listen, I could never live in the Bronx or Washington Heights. Oh my God, no, I couldn't with all that noise. Yo, check this one out. Has those big columns in front and the balcony. I guess this is what they call a Victorian. There's some others like further up the street here, but I ain't going all the way up there. But you know, you find these interesting little houses here in Jersey City, and now a lot of people are moving into the area. It's getting gentrified. They're buying these properties and they're fixing them up, you know. But you know, like I was saying, the thing that I love about Jersey City is that it's urban enough. I mean, you can get, once you're on that PATH train, it's like 10 minutes and you're in the city. You know, you're in World Trade Center. 10 minutes on that PATH train and you're at World Trade Center. And then, if you want to go to Midtown, 20 minutes. You're in Midtown. So, you definitely have your urban flavor, like in Journal Square. I'm gonna walk back that way because I gotta cut through Journal Square to get back home. You definitely have your urban touches there. Central Avenue also is another spot. They got a lot of businesses over there. They got a lot of shops, restaurants, and stuff. And Journal Square is like the heart of everything, you know. And so you got that. You got your Dwayne Reed and your Rite Aid that's open 24 hours, you know, a day. So if you need something right quick, you can run over there, or you can run over to 7-Eleven. So you got that convenience. And if you need to get into the city, you're there within 10 or 20 minutes, you know. And you've got these little houses that give you that suburban feel, you know, but then you got your apartment buildings, you know. So you got that urban feel that you would get in the Bronx or Brooklyn or Upper Manhattan. But it's quiet. It's quiet, except if you're like on one of the main streets, you got like the fire engines and, you know, the ambulances going by. But other than that, like on a weekend, it is so quiet. And of course at night, you know, it's really, really quiet. And I love that. So when I'm ready to buy property, I'm hoping that I can find like a condo or condo townhouse. You know, I'd be happy with like a 3-bedroom, something like that. I want to have a main bedroom for myself, and then I want to have a guest bedroom, you know, like my little sister. She can come over and visit every now and then, you know, because right now my other sister's taking care of her, and, you know, she got her son. He's about 7 years old now, and he's a handful. So between the two of them, she's got her hands full, and she's going back to school too, you know, so I want to be able to give her a chance to breathe, you know? Lily is always fleeing. Lily lives in Brooklyn, like right on the parade route, the West Indian Day Parade, and she always, every Labor Day, she goes running for the hills, man, because it's a party like from night to day, and the sound trucks, yo, it's loud as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. So she goes running for the hills every Labor Day, man. She goes somewhere out of town to get away from all the noise. But now, this is an example of some of the modern architecture that we have in Jersey City now, right? I mean, it's a nice house, right? But it doesn't have that same kind of character like the older houses, right? It just doesn't have that same warmth. And I don't know why, but they be doing this thing with these long ass stairs. And the only thing I can think of is like, what the fuck, you know, in the winter when it's like cold and it's icy, I'm gonna be like busting my ass all the way down those flight of stairs. Like, that's not cool. Like, why couldn't they just have like a ground floor entrance, like this build, like this house? They got a ground floor entrance. Like, but so many of the buildings, the new houses they put up, have these long ass staircases. Like, who the fuck wants that? This is another one. I don't know if this is a new one they built or if they renovated this one. But this one has a ground floor also. And I guess, this would be a nice property because you could like rent out different floors, so it could be an income property. You could live on one floor and you could rent out the other floor, and be making income from it at the same time. So you have them pay your mortgage. But look at this house right here, the gray one, right? And just look, it's very simple. Now, to be honest with you, I don't like co-joined houses, especially if they're wooden, because, I get like nervous, like what the fuck happens if there's a fire. But just look at the detail work they have like on the roof. I mean, that's so pretty. But you see the same style next to it, the two buildings beside it, you see they covered up that work, I guess because it was falling into disrepair and nobody does that kind of restorative work anymore. But I would definitely like a condo townhouse. I mean, I like the modern architecture, but it just doesn't have the same warmth like the old stuff. And we're coming up on John F. Kennedy Boulevard. This is like the main artery in Jersey City. Oh, let me see. OJ, the place you live is similar to Jersey City, but it's more south downside. And oh, you're living, so OJ, you live in like South Jersey. Yeah, I don't like row houses either. I mean, I would feel more secure if they're brick, because where I grew up in, before I moved to Jamaica, I was in Soundview. And we had row houses, but they were all brick, so I feel more secure with that because I think it retards fire better. But, here you go, another example of that kind of, small apartment building. And then you have these little row houses here, but these look like they're all brick. So, I mean, I would be okay with something, but these are like really small. These are like little cottages. But they're kind of cozy, if you're a single person, it's just you, just living by yourself. Definitely could do a lot if you had the money to, like really fix it up and make it look nice. And if you look in the distance, you can see I think that's the I-95. That's a UPS truck getting ready to run me over. And this is Lincoln Park. One of the parks we have in Jersey City. So this area, this is called the Heights. And over there you got another mulberry tree. And on the corner there you have another Juneberry tree. They are delicious. Yes, I have tried them. And this is John F. Kennedy Boulevard. And now you can hear what I mean about the fucking sirens. And the fucked up part about it is they probably ain't going nowhere. They just don't want to fucking stop for the goddamn red light. Just making all that damn noise for no damn reason. But yeah, this is John F. Kennedy Boulevard. This goes all the way up. It cuts through Jersey City. I think it goes through Bayonne. all the way up into Union, and I don't know, I've never actually followed it all the way to the end to see how far, how many towns it cuts through. But got all these little side streets here. We're actually up on the Palisades. Like the Palisades actually begins in Jersey City and then goes all the way up into upstate New York. One of these days I'll do a walking tour. I'll show you the exact spot where the Palisades start. But you have all these little houses here. Once again, these are all from like the early 1900s. And you see what I mean? What I was telling you before about how some of these people, they close off. Hold on, let me get over here. Ugh. You see like how they closed off the porches and they made like another room. Hold on. Can you see? Yeah, there you go. So like these used to be open. Like if you look, you see at these houses, this was like the front porch. And they just like closed it in. And they made like another room. Like this one on the corner here, that's what they did. It used to be like this, but then they closed it off and they made like an extra room, So there's a lot of interesting things you can do when you have a property. They made look at this. They made like this little patio out here with fake flowers, but hey, the good thing about fake flowers is they never die, right? But it's a nice little spot to come out and chill, So we're walking back. Oh, here's another example. You see this house. It had the porch. You see like the porch up there, but they closed theirs in with like glass shutters. So people do a lot of interesting things with their properties, many different options. And you see this one has like the porch downstairs. They could close it in if they wanted to, make an extra room, or they could turn that, up there into an extra room. But I kind of like it open like that, because it's a nice place to relax. Like in the summer, you got a good breeze. And the good thing about this area here is if you have a property that's facing this way, because this is the west, in the summertime, the breeze blows in Jersey City, the breeze blows out of the west. And if you have your window facing the west, you really don't need an air conditioner. All you got to do is just open up your windows. And on a nice breezy day, it just keep you cool. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about my channel. Yeah, so, the whole thing, getting back to that, my channel is not about drama. I just kind of got sidetracked for a little while with all of this shit because, honestly and truly, I was trying to engage with people and communicate, but then it got messy. And here's what I realized. There's just certain people that it doesn't make sense to try to communicate with them because they're locked into a place of hatred. And hateful people, they want to do one or two things when they see a person that's not on that tip. Either they want to drag you into the darkness with you, or they want to dim your light. And this is what I see happening with myself, with a friendship that I had with a certain person, will remain nameless, and with Tina, Tina's got a beautiful little channel, you know, and people see that she has a particular kind of light. And you know what I was saying earlier, the thing about Tina that is unique, I don't see any other Dominicans on YouTube that are doing what Tina is doing. And like I said, you know, for damn near 40 years, there's been a real negative narrative about Dominican people and the Dominican community and what they're all about. And no one has really come out in an effective way to counteract that stereotype. But Tina, because of the qualities that she has, she's been able to create cross-cultural understanding with different people in a way that's not confrontational, not messy, and a lot of good has actually come out of it. But the people who are filled with hatred, they look at her and they're upset because she's actually creating bridges and mutual respect with people, and they don't like that because they're all about hatred. They're so invested in their hatred, you know, and they either want to drag her over to their side to be messy and hateful like them, or they want to break her spirit and discourage her and silence her voice. And what they don't realize is that they're doing damage to the Dominican community, because as far as immigrant groups are in these urban areas, especially the Northeast here, Dominicans are the new kids on the block. And so when you are the newest member in the community, all eyes are going to be on you, because people are trying to figure out, well, you know, what are you all about? They're trying to understand you, you know? And that's just the way it is. So right now, there's a lot of focus on the Dominicans because they're, like I said, they're the newest element in the mix in the Northeast. And people are trying to figure out what they're all about. And that's normal, right? That's normal. So you have somebody like Tina who can really articulate in a very comprehensive, non-threatening way the Dominican perspective when it comes to certain issues. And she can address certain things because she's a bridge, right? She grew up in the States, but she's still very much connected to the Dominican Republic. She's got dual citizenship. Ooh, look, more mulberries. She's got dual citizenship. Uh-oh. People actually live here. I thought this house was abandoned. Okay, let me leave before I fucking get, like, shot or something. Oh, but those mulberries are delicious. Tina still has a foot in the Dominican Republic. So, even though there's not a lot of Dominicans where she lives, she's got her family. She's still connected. So she knows many communities. She knows the African American community, and she knows the Dominican community, or I should say an aspect of the African American culture and the Dominican culture. And neither one of them are the ghetto side that people like to focus on, right? Because where Tina lives, the African American community that she's around are people who are not ghetto. They're middle class, they're well-to-do, they're educated. So she can give an objective opinion on where they come, you know, where they're coming from. At the same time, she, just by being herself, she's been able to introduce them to the positive aspects of Dominican culture. And they enjoy it. They enjoy the food. They enjoy the music. They enjoy, some of them, they're learning the language, you know? But they're still connected to their African American heritage and cultures, you know? And that's the other thing, you know? It's like you get these people with these big heads. Oh, Latinos are lit. Everybody wants to be us. I mean, it's so fucking arrogant. No. You can admire the beauty in another group of people without trashing your own heritage or forgetting your own heritage. You know? I mean, for example, I spent most of my life traveling to Egypt. There's things that I love about Egypt. There's things that I really hate about Egypt. I got a love-hate relationship with Egypt. Most of the music that I listen to is Egyptian music. I love Egyptian music. I love the dance. There's a lot of beautiful things about it. But I would never, 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 never pretend to be Egyptian. I would never turn my back on my Jamaican heritage because that's who I am. You know, and being a dancer, to be honest with you, if I passed for Egyptian, I would have made a lot of money. Right? I could have just said, hey, you know, I'm born here. I didn't really learn the language like that. Blah, blah, blah. I know only a little bit. Because when I did do that, I was getting a lot of gigs, yo. I was getting hired for a lot of gigs. But me being me, it's like I'm a Jamaican. Listen, where are you from? Jamaica. So I got hired by this lady. She has a catering company, you know, like one of those banquet halls. She'd have a lot of parties, you know, ladies' parties. Sweet 16s, bachelorette parties, bridal showers, baby showers. And I was getting a lot of work. And, you know, one of the ladies calls me over and she says, you know, she's speaking to me in Arabic. She's asking me, where are you from? And like, I'm in Jamaica. You know, and I'm Jamaicani. Oh, I thought you were Egyptian. لا أنا مش مصري. أنا من جامايكا لكن أنا علمت الرقص في مصر. So I told her, no, I'm Jamaican. I'm not from Egypt, but I learned how to dance in Egypt. That was the day the phone stopped ringing. So, but that's just me. I could never deny my heritage for any reason. You know, I couldn't do that. And as much as I love Egypt, listen, Egyptian food cannot compare to Jamaican food. I'm sorry. All my Egyptian folks out there, sorry, but y'all don't throw down in the kitchen like we do, man. Like, it's just not the same. Egypt, there's a lot that I like about. Well, Cairo is disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. The part of Egypt that I like the most for natural beauty would be Upper Egypt in the south. But it doesn't compare to Jamaica. It just doesn't compare to Jamaica, man. Like, absolutely not. We got the beaches. We got the mountains. It's just a whole vibe when you're down there that nothing in the world can compare to, man. And that's what's in my heart. You know? But that doesn't mean that I can't appreciate another culture. So Dominicans, yeah, you know, like I've been exploring the Dominican community through Tina's eyes, you know, and learning about them, because you can be around a group of people all your life, but if you don't really interact with them on that deep of it, you don't really know what they're all about, you know? And Tina has been that ambassador. for most of us who are not in the Dominican community, you know? And that's a beautiful thing. So when you get these haters on here, oh, these African Americans, they're trying to brainwash us. They're trying to turn us into them. No, listen, let me tell you something. Dominican people are not in danger of losing their culture, whether they're here in the United States or back on the island. They still have their culture. Now, is it wrong that they have an appreciation for certain aspects of American culture, particularly African American culture? No, that's normal. I mean, when you move to another country, there's going to be a certain amount of assimilation that happens. You know? I mean, let's just look at Dominican culture. What are Dominicans known for? You know, stereotypically, one of the main things, hookah. Where the hell does hookah come from? That doesn't come from Dominican Republic. That comes from the Middle East. Where did they get that from? They got that from all the Yemenis and the Lebanese and all these people that they encountered here in the United States, and probably back in DR as well. There's, you know, in the Caribbean all over, there's a lot of Middle Eastern people. And they've taken that and they've assimilated into their culture on their terms. So they've Dominicanized it, right? When Dominicans first started coming up here to the United States, they were still wearing that, you know, that island fashion. And that's why I got my ass beat on Fordham Road, because I used to dress like them. Because that was when I was like, you know, after spending all these years trying to assimilate to American culture, I was like, fuck that, man. You know, going back to my Jamaican roots and, you know, really affirming my pride in my Jamaican culture. And that's the way we dressed. You know, that Miami Vice look with the tropical shirts, with the baggy pants that was like tapered at the ankles, and the sandals, you know, like the leather sandals with all the straps, no socks, you know. And then the hair, it was like, you know, the big hair with, you know, the mullet, afro, short on the top, long in the back. That's how I was dressing. They thought I was Dominican. You know, a whole bunch of Puerto Ricans beat my ass down on Fordham Road. But anyway, you know, now Dominicans have adopted certain aspects of African American fashion, right? Street fashion. But they've put their own spin on it. They've taken aspects of African American culture like the braids, but they put their Dominican spin on it. They're developing an appreciation for the African element of their culture. And they're expressing it in their hair. Women are starting to wear their hair natural now, right? Whereas before they thought that the only way to be beautiful is that they had to get it bone straight all the time. Now they're learning to appreciate the beauty of their kinks and curls. But at the end of the day, they're still Dominican. Their values are still Dominican. The foods that they eat, their traditions, their mannerisms, their customs, their family structure, it's still Dominican. So, you know, these people talking, you know, like, oh, they're being brainwashed. Why are they being brainwashed? Because they're learning to love a part of themselves that for generations they were taught to be ashamed of. Because they've taken, you know, musical elements from other cultures like the reggaeton that you can hear right now. You know? I mean, come on. People don't live under rocks. we're aware of each other. Dominicans are aware of the other cultures in the Caribbean, not just Puerto Rico and Cuba. So why should it be any big surprise that Dominicans heard, music from Jamaica, or Panamanians heard music from Jamaica and they put their own spin and they came up with dembow and reggaeton? It just is what it is. There's even a small little Dominican community in Jamaica. A lot of people don't know that. On the north coast in Montego Bay, there's a little town called Lilliput. There's a Dominican community in Lilliput, Jamaica. Oh, here we are in Journal Square. This is where the PATH train is. So when you're going into the city, this is where you come and you jump on that PATH train that takes you into the city. You're there in like 10 minutes. You'll be in the World Trade Center, and another 20 you'll be in Midtown Manhattan. So let me show you. I'm just going to show you here because I'm not going to go down into the station. But this is a new structure. They built this up in the 1970s. I think the early 70s, they built this whole complex. Like before this shit was so fucking ass backward and country, y'all. You used to have to take this long ass staircase all the way down to the freaking train tracks. I mean, this shit was like mad fucking country out here. And then they built this up in the 70s. And rumor has it that they're gonna tear this all down and put up some kind of new structure over this. I really hope not. I think, listen, leave well enough alone, because that's a pain in the ass. New construction, especially something of that magnitude. So this is Journal Square. This is Duane Reade. This shit is open 24 hours a day, except on Sunday. Like Saturday night, I think it closes, but all during the rest of the week it's open 24 hours a day. So you need something in a hurry, this spot is always going to be open. And this is Lowe's Movie Theater. So back in the days, in the 1920s, you had the movie palaces, and this was one of the famous ones. And they're going to be renovating this soon. They did a little mini renovation. And hey, Denise, what up, sweetie? I'm just looking at the comments. I love Moroccan mint tea too, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, there are certain things that I love, Egyptian food. They definitely do have their things that I love, but it doesn't compare to Jamaican food. So this movie theater, this was an old movie palace back in the day, and it's still got all of that magnificent architecture. There's another one over here, but it's a Kingdom Hall now. And yeah, it has the original organ because, back in the days, they had that, they didn't have, it was silent films, back in the 20s and stuff. And so they had, like, the organ to play, atmospheric music while the movie was playing. And they still have the organ there, And I think that before the movie started, they would have, like, little acts, live acts that used to come on and entertain. So they do share, they do show from time to time, like, classic movies in there. But it does need to be repaired, and they're going to start working on it soon. I think they're slated to finish 2025 or something like that. But I don't know. I don't think they started working on it yet. They got, delayed because of COVID and everything. And if you see there on the corner, On the top floor of that building, that's an Egyptian cafe. And they used to have dancers there on Saturday night. I've done a couple of shows over there myself. But ever since I went back to school, I was just like so busy because, usually the dancer comes on like about midnight. And by midnight, I'm in my bed. So I don't care if they selling like free pussy and salvation, man. I'm in my bed. I ain't going over there. But yeah, I did do like about 3 shows. They're actually one of the shows that I did. If you go on my channel, my other channel, the dance channel, where I'm dancing with the hookah on my head and then I was like interacting with the crowd, that's where I did that show. That was there. That's the Egyptian cafe. It's called the Salmania. The Solomania. Not Salmania. Il Solomania. And this was the site of... Hey, how you doing, man? This was the site of a hotel in Journal Square. They knocked it down. They're going to be putting up a big complex over here. They've been... God, like 15 years they've been trying to get this shit built. And I think they finally got the go-ahead. So, I don't know, in another year or two, they'll probably start breaking ground for that. But this is Journal Square. This is the heart of the commercial area here in Jersey City. And behind me is our resident alcoholics. There are local celebrities, y'all. This is John F. Kennedy. Wow, it's been 2 hours since I've been walking? Well, listen, man, I ain't gonna make it to the gym. I need my exercise. I'll go to the gym tomorrow. But yeah, this is the commercial area of Journal Square. That's John F. Kennedy Boulevard going down there. It continues, takes a left turn down to Bayonne. And this is Bergen Avenue. Begins here? Yeah, I guess. I guess this is where Bergen Avenue ends. But this goes all the way down to Bayonne, into Bayonne. Also goes through the bad side of Jersey City, y'all. And this was the gym I used to go to. I'm not in the bad side of Jersey City. I'm close to it, but not quite. I'm still in the nice side of Jersey City. But it's all getting gentrified as fuck. It's getting really gentrified. Now, I will show you guys where I moved to my first apartment. First building I moved to when I came out to Jersey City. It's down this way. I was much closer to the train station. Okay, so in the distance, you can see that gray building on the corner. That was the first building that I moved into when I came out to Jersey City. It was in 2005. And it was much more convenient. I was closer to the train station. But I had to hurry up and get out of there because I knew like a big change was coming. And dudes, like 1 month after I moved out of that building, all hell broke loose. They tried to flip it into condos. They had a bed bug infestation. The landlord ripped out the heating. He put electric heating in there. People was coming out in the wintertime with like $200 bills for their heating. It was just a whole fucking hot mess. I was lucky that I got out right in the nick of time. So I'm a little bit further away from the subway now, but it's quiet for the most part where I am. And this is a little park they made kind of like after I left. They made this park. This is part of the community college, little study area. So I just wanted to come out and make a little video for you guys, you know, especially after all of the drama that went down the past couple of weeks. You know, I wanted to show everybody I'm still alive. I'm still here. Oh, Rattles. Fuck you, you fat bitch. Oh, boy. Radical made up. Nobody said anything about white supremacy. I don't know why the fuck you here. Oh boy, yeah. But yo, Radical, we're gonna explore Jersey City, man. There's a whole lot of interesting little restaurants and stuff. We're gonna have a nice little exploration, you know. But you know, like I was saying, I just wanted to give a little video because I'm working to bring my channel back in tune with what my intent for being on YouTube is all about, you know. And I have learned a lot in these past couple of years dealing with some of these individuals. And you know, one mistake that I made, you know, you definitely need to learn when it's time to get disengaged with people. I always had the thought that I always had the belief that any misunderstanding could be resolved with clear communication, you know, but there's just certain people who they don't want that, you know, like they are just hateful and hate-filled, and they're messy and full of drama, and that's all they want. So no matter how noble your intentions are, they're not going to receive it. And the only thing that's going to happen is if you keep engaging with them, no matter how noble your intentions may be, you're just going to get infected with their virus, you know? And you're going to become just as messy and drama-filled as they are. And we all see, yeah, I slipped down that slippery slope and I learned. But you know what? I learned from that. There's just certain people, it's not worth the time and effort engaging with them. It just isn't. So you have to know when to let go and walk away. And I think that I've done what I needed to do. I said what I needed to say when it comes to certain individuals in this section of YouTube. And I don't need to go into it anymore. I don't need to be like every day doing videos about them, you know. I mean, if I wanted to, I could make, you know, counter videos every fucking day about the dysfunctional aspects of the Latino community. I mean, there's no loss of criminals and fuckery and foolishness. But at the end of the day, I do believe that it's unfair to judge a whole community of people based on the dysfunctional elements in their community. Because at the end of the day, we all got messy shit. You know, we all got messy shit in our communities, you know, aspects of our communities that we're like, oh God, I wish I wasn't related to them. That's just life. You know, even the quote unquote white people, you know, you can go to places in Pennsylvania where these people are living like in third world conditions. You know, everybody's got their messiness. But that doesn't define who people are. And I certainly don't have any hatred, even though I keep getting accused of it. I have no hatred for Dominicans or Dominican people. I'm not obsessed about Dominicans. Go look at the content on my channel. How much of it is dealing with Dominicans? Next to nothing. Um, I've never said anything insulting about the Dominican community or nation. And as much as these people keep accusing me of it, nobody has ever been able to present any proof where I was talking, slick shit about Dominicans. But I felt that there were people who were talking a lot of misinformation about African heritage, African people, and people of the African diaspora in general, in particular African Americans, and I wanted to set the record straight. But like I said, I recognize that rational people, they know the difference. Irrational people, they have an agenda, and there's certain people who are on YouTube in certain, they pop up on certain people's live streams and they have an agenda. Like, the whole thing with Fighter. Look, at the end of the day, Fighter doesn't need me, and he's made himself perfectly clear how he feels about me. So I really didn't see the need to be, meeting up with him and hanging out. Like, dude, you pretty much told me you don't give a fuck about me and you don't care if I fucking died. Like, so why am I gonna hang out with you and have dinner and all of this shit and yuck it up with you? You pretty much made it known what you feel about me. So it just is what it is. And, that's cool. Everybody don't have to love everybody, That's just life. So, but the thing is, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not going to come and, put on a happy face for someone who really went out of their way to, throw my name in the mud, But, like I said, it is what it is. And I don't have to harp on it. It just is what it is. And I'm not going to sit here and tell Tina who she can be friends with and who she can't. Like, Tina, a grown-ass fucking woman, And if they're not messy or whatever with her and they treat her with respect, then more power to her, But, certain people, they criticize me because I didn't let them come on to the stream that I did on her channel. Why would I do that when you had many opportunities to have a civil conversation with me, and what you did is you called me out my name, you called me a Jew, you called me a homosexual, you called me a pedophile, whatever. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. You talk over me, you insult me, so now you want to have an adult conversation? Like, really? That's not the way life works. But it's all good. I'm going to keep on doing what I do with my channel. And now that everybody knows about that other side of my life, I can share aspects of my dance world. But I really want to keep that separate because that's really very different than what I do over here, And I didn't want those two worlds getting mixed up because it's just a very different vibe. Over here, I'm dealing with more heavier topics at times. And my dance world, I try to keep it light. Naomi, don't say anything. I try to keep it light. I try to stay away from drama. Lily, don't say anything. But it's just a whole different vibe, and I wanted to keep that away, But now I can talk about aspects of it, but my channel is not going to turn into a dance channel, This is going to be looking at aspects of history, culture, contributions of people of the African diaspora, talking about issues, cross-cultural communication. So yeah, I will do videos, on, Dominican topics, because I want to address the misunderstandings between the two communities. I'm not going to be hating on them or anything, but I will talk about it. And like, if anyone has a problem with that, they can kick rocks, you know. I do also want to eventually broaden the scope of the topics I handle on my channel, that, you know, go beyond just issues of the African diaspora, because there's a lot more to life, you know, than just Africa, the Caribbean. You know, there's other things, there's so many other things to talk about and explore, and that's what I want to do. So I'm going to end this stream now, because Lily's going to kick my ass if I don't get some objectives done. And yeah, I need to run home because I'm still a little ways from home. And I can get there a lot quicker if I turn off the camera and I just walk fast. So I'm going to go and have a proper breakfast, although I did get off to a very nutritious start, you know. Got to give it that, you know. I had fresh berries. That's how I stay so, you know. That's how I keep this skin so smooth. But anyway, I'll be doing more things. I think I'll do more live streams, but I'll keep it short and just focus on one particular topic, and that way I can get more content out on a regular basis. So love all you guys. I hope you have a great day. Try to get outside. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. It's not too it's not hot. It's not cold either. It's a nice breeze blowing. It's a perfect day. So Lily, get out of the office and go run around in the park out there in Brooklyn. Enjoy nature. And I'll see you guys again really, really soon, okay? Now, all I got to do is figure out how to turn off the stream. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. I'm going to figure it out. Don't worry. How do I do it? Okay. Yes, all right, everybody. Thank you all for coming by and sharing my morning walk with me. Love you.